Actions, they say, beget reactions. And as you're witnessing in the labor movement in Nigeria, the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, has again rejected the purported registration of new trade unions for the universities. The Congress of Nigerian University Academics, CONUA, and the Nigerian Association of Medical and Dental Lecturers in Academics, NAMDA, in a letter by the NLC President Ayuba Waba to the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, they questioned the motive for registering CONUA and NAMDA, asking whether it is the regrouping of trade unions or a response to the application made by the two unions since 2018. Kanawale Johnson, let me start with you.
Well, let me not try to go down the lane on the history of trade unionism in Nigeria. You know, it was the NLC. Then you have the TUC. You know, later. I think for the good of the nation, the Asuu would have perhaps looked away from this. But the timing was extremely wrong. It is not out of place if because you join associations like that voluntarily. So if some say they want to form the ASU, well and good. But if it comes at a time when you are trying to divide the group in order for you to have your way, then for every reason and motive, it is wrong. Then secondly, let us see. Assuming Asuu did not call off the strike, I was expecting to see, you know, the lecturers that would belong to those names that would say they want to go and resume school. In fact, I was expecting to see the people they would group together.
Whether by themselves they can open all the federal universities in Nigeria.
I was waiting for that until the strike went up. It was a strategy that came, that came too late. Number one, and that came at a very wrong time. You can belong to any association that you want, but that it did, that didn't do well anyway. And the good thing is that the strike is off now, so you may likely see the death of those associations, or they may just sleep for a while. Maybe after some time they can be reawakened again. But for now, I don't think they will do well again.
Okay, well, the NLC has accused Chris Ngige of being biased.
You know, the minister claimed that he had been under pressure since 2018 or so to register this group. And my question is, okay, you didn't register the group at that time for a reason. Because you felt it was not necessary, because you felt that based on the law, there was already a workers' union representing academics, so there is no need to set up a new one. The law does not want to see a proliferation of workers' unions. And I refer to a case decided against this same minister when he tried to register another union in the polytechnics. Of course, his registration of that union was rendered a nullity by the court. And what the court cited, the court cited the provisions of the same law that he came up with to say, I have the power as the minister to set up. But one line of that law says there shall be no, that the register of trade unions shall not register any new body where there already exists a union serving the same purpose. The whole idea was to stop mushrooming of groups within universities, within the labor force, fighting amongst one another and then setting up groups to challenge one another, to rival one another. If we have a situation in which you are now going against the basis of the law, then it is wrong. In fact, in this, in the letter that the NLC sent to the minister, they detailed cases that had been decided in their own favor when they were confronted with this kind of situation in which some bodies sprang up and tried to rival another body. So let me read part of what the NLC is saying. We wish to draw the attention of the Honorable Minister to the fact that the underlying text from the citation of Section 3, subsection 2 above, which expressly forbids and restricts the minister from registered unions in sectors where a trade union already exists, is anchored on the word register, which applies to both regrouping of existing trade unions or registering a new trade union. The legal language used therein is shall, which in ordinary legal parlance imposes strict observance and total compliance. This rule is derived from Section 45 of Section 1 of the 1999 Constitution, which regulates Section 38, 39, 40, and 41, and which reflects domestication of ILO Conventions 87 and 98, and other constitutional provisions on the civil liberties and rights. Ancillary to this is the provision of Section 5 subsection 2 of the Trade Union Act, which provides for the gazetting of the registration of new trade unions and display of same for public objections for 3 months. The provision of Section 5 of Section 2 is reproduced below verbatim. I don't want to go into that. So NLC then said the question yet to be answered is if the above provisions has been respected and complied with by the Ministry of Labour. Did they give a kind of 3 months moratorium for people who have objection to the registration to voice their objections? Or you just went straight and ignored the Trade Union Act? So they are saying that they, CONUA and NAMDA, applied for registration since 2018 and cited irreconcilable differences. The above submission is a clear contradiction of your claims on regrouping as justification for awarding trade union certificates to CONUA and NAMDA, which we have stressed violates the provisions of Trade Union Act, Cap T14, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria. The question on the mind of every rational Nigerian is, what is your motive for registering CONUA and NAMDA? Is it regrouping of trade unions, or is it a response to the application made by CONUA and NAMDA since 2018 to be registered as trade union? Third, it is helpful that you cited your eminent position in the ILO governing board. This means that you should be very conversant with the provisions of ILO standards on freedom of association, Article 3, subsection 2 of ILO Convention 87 on freedom of association, right to organize, made explicitly clear that public authorities, including the ministers of labor, should never interfere in the activities of trade unions. Unfortunately, you have accused us of interference when the opposite is the reality. Your biased attempt to regroup an existing trade union or actually individuals, something our labor laws never contemplated, in utter disregard to tripartism, which is a core pillar of ILO. So my own submission is CONUA or NAMDA, whatever it is, the law is clear. And the portion of that law that says that where there exists a body serving, a workers' union serving that purpose, representing academics, for example, you cannot register another one. The minister lost a case recently. They need to explain to us why he lost that one and how that one is different to CONUA. Because when they walked up to the registrar refused to register them. They then appealed. They then appealed to the minister. The minister went ahead and registered them, and the court rendered the registration. That's for polytechnics. So the court registered the registration a nullity. So I know that even history could repeat itself, but as I've said last week, with the Asuu going back to work, CONUA has already become irrelevant because the whole idea of getting CONUA and co-registered was part of piling pressure on Asuu to say, look, if you do not back down, we are going to make life difficult for you when your body is dismembered. But in most of the tertiary institutions, the prominent tertiary institutions, CONUA members do not exist. I said it here that I will even challenge you. I said, go to your University of Lagos, and ask for CONUA members. Go to UI, go to ABU. They don't exist in those
I would
places.
urge you
CONUA
to
and NAMDA.
kindly hold your thoughts while we take Bob from Jos. Hello, Bob.
Hello, my sister.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon to Uncle Jide there.
I greet you,
May
sir.
God be with you, Uncle Jide.
Thank you,
I
sir.
think your son should emulate you. You are
Amen.
doing a very good job in this country.
Thank
I
you,
hope
sir.
you should be able to raise your son to follow what you are doing for this country. Let him start copying you.
Amen.
Let him start studying you. You are a good material in this country.
Thank
You
sir.
are standing. You are not biased in anything you are saying. You are not sentimental in anything you are saying. You say it as it is, which every country should emulate. You understand me? You put it as it is. You understand not to be calling black as white. White should be white, and black should be white, and black should be black. See, they should emulate you. You are a good material in this country, and God will keep you in Jesus' name.
Thank you, sir.
So that apart, well, I want to really find out this man that abused that lady. Is that man his father? Is that man her father? That's what I want to establish. Is it her father?
No.
Uncle
He's the
Jide?
father. She's the father of her rival. The two
The father of her
girls
rival.
are fighting over a man.
Ah.
So that one
I
beat
think
up.
they-
So she beat up the man's daughter over a man. So the man decided to fight for her daughter. But look at the extent to which they went.
So is the father that...
All right, thank you very much, Bob.
Probably
Thank you for your contribution. Thank you. BK, would you like to finish up your thought?
No,
When he was praying for you, I say he's not an obedient person. If he is, he won't pray for you.
No, but what are we even talking? You know, those ones, they determine whether you're objective or subjective based on
It is from their
where
own
you work,
subjective view.
where you work, even the name that you bear. So we stopped. Some will say, "Oh, I don't listen to him. Forget about that. Jide. He thinks he knows everything." But when they are sleeping, I don't sleep until 2 a.m. every day. I'm reading. The things that I don't know, I ask people. If you say, okay, let us talk about physics, I'm not going to pretend that I know about it because I was never a scientist. But if we insist that we must come and discuss nuclear physics, I will call people who are knowledgeable about it. They will brief me properly, and I will come and talk like somebody who passed through university studying that course. So this is the thing. It's not a matter. The journalists, we've seen journalists who were never scientists, and they gave them beats.
Yeah, and they cover effectively.
They gave them bits relating to science, and they excelled. This is the way it should be. We have journalists who when they talk about defense, you think that they had even fought wars before. It's about how a person applies himself to his duty. You know, so people they will say what they like, but at least we try our best to be objective. No matter the situation that we found ourselves. Somebody was asking, shouldn't Obi just simply go and donate money to the victims of flooding instead of suspending his campaign? And I said, Obi was right in suspending his campaign. It was just a significant move to show that, look, I care for you. I said, I could advise him to do the two, not say, just give them money. But he went there. We cannot say it was wrong to have gone there to commiserate with the people. So I would not find myself in a situation where I can see clearly that Obi is right, I will now say no, it was wrong.
Besides, there's enough time, to the election. So he has
Yes,
enough time
he
to
has enough
campaign.
time.
So if even if you say he's playing politics with that, what are we playing? Is it
Are we not
politics?
supposed to play politics at this time?
So I agree with
All
you
right.
on that.
No,
Gentlemen.
Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu suspended his, even cancelled his birthday celebration to go and sympathize with people in Kaduna State. And that was,
unfortunately,
that was a master stroke because he got the Kaduna people to say, look, so a man can go to this extent, cancel a birthday that they are prepared for so long. And look, the rest is history. The Kaduna people, they showed their joy towards him during the primaries. That gesture was the difference maker. So I can't see somebody who took the right step and now say, no, it's wrong. No, that's not how I was trained.
That's good.
All right, gentlemen, let's get back to NLC, Chris Ngige, Kolawole Johnson. If the law is clear, why then do we continue to... If the law is clear, thank you, once again, thank you, Bikeo, for detailing all that for us. If the law is clear, why then do we have this issue?
Because when you have issues at hand, when you have problems, there is no template for managing every situation. There is no fixed approach to many of these issues in government. You just have to apply yourself to them when they come. And so when there are issues like that, you look at the pros and cons, and you're looking at how to come out of them. Perhaps the minister felt, oh, this would be this may be part of the tools to deploy, either to ensure that he is able to have his way, or to get the people back to the table, or to get them to consider their ways. It is not as though he's not aware that he has been flawed before in the court of law, taking the same step. It's because he was looking for a way of getting out of the situation. And at times, every way becomes a way, especially when you don't know the way. So the minister, I don't think he wanted to just display some ignorance. He was trying to just get out of the situation. That I think, especially when it was becoming a national embarrassment very close to the election time. You haven't strike getting to the 6th, 7th month. So he was just trying to do something. I don't think he was trying to do something so spectacular. For me, that's my thought.
All right.